Here, you can exercise your rights to freedom every day without leaving your home. We don't just say, we do. It's the Stay in City way.
Hello and welcome to Real Talk with Anele right here on SABC3. The stage is yours. Today is a very special day for us here as South Africans and the world over because it is what would have been the late, great Nelson Mandela's 99th birthday. We, however, do not bow our heads in sorrow. We remember him, but we celebrate his lifetime of service by taking time out in our days to be of service to others. This year, in line with the Action Against Poverty theme, we have guests who have gone above and beyond their call to service and are doing remarkable work to make today and every day Nelson Mandela Day. Our first guest is Sarah Khan, the CEO of Stop Hunger Now SA, who's busy telling me about this fabulous dinner that they had. Tell us about this dinner. When was this dinner?
All right, well, we had the dinner for the first time ever on the 13th. And we had international guests, VIP guests, like the Miss World delegation, as well as Matt Preston, MasterChef Australia. And of course, we had Chief Zwelivelile Mandela there. Because for me, it was about having somebody that would represent what Mandela was about and to speak about it. It was also our name change, so we are now no longer Stop Hunger Now Southern Africa. We are Rise Against Hunger Africa.
All right. It's obviously a more positive spin to it. That's why you guys went for that, you know?
I think so. I think it is a more positive spin, but also it's about the equity that we've been building with the name, and we actually don't own the trademark to it. Now, it sounds strange for an NGO to say that because, you know, you'd normally think this is what a business would do, but we've been building equity. It's registered to Sodexo, which is a corporate company for the internal program, but we're not sure what will happen with it. And we didn't want to take that risk. With all the amazing work that's going on within Rise Against Hunger, we felt a name change was necessary. So that's why we did it.
So it's Rise Against Hunger now.
Rise Against Hunger Africa.
Rise Against Hunger Africa. So in terms of 67 Minutes for Nelson Mandela, what did your initiative do?
Well, our initiative, as we usually do, is not only about Mandela Day. Like you said, his legacy is not about just 67 minutes. It's about making every day a Mandela Day. So we decided last year already that we would lead a global campaign, which we did. And we called it Follow the Sun, purely because we started in the East and we ended in the West. So it made sense to us. And of course, Sun International jumped on board and they're still with us. And it was a very successful event. We targeted 10 million meals. We did 10 million and 26 meals. South Africa alone did 3.3 million meals.
And then what happens to those meals?
Those meals are then distributed to early childhood development facilities as well as universities. We've got 3.1 million children in this country that go to bed chronically hungry every day. So it's not like every now and again they will get a meal. They go to bed hungry every day. They know when they get home there is no meal. And for me, that's unacceptable. This is why we work so hard, but we love what we do because we see the joy that it brings. But it's also not just about giving meals, it's also about how do we develop them in order for this to be sustainable. So these little ECDs are now becoming centers of excellence. And I'm happy to report that in the last 7 months, we've actually exited 40 creches. They no longer are reliant on us.
They no longer need you.
They don't need us.
Why? Did you guys go in there and get built gardens and bakery vibes?
Well, we made sure that first and foremost, we made sure that Goko knows how to run a creche and that her center becomes a center of excellence. So we looked at the infrastructure, we looked at the training material that was available, we looked at sanitation and made sure there were toilets and little basins for kids to wash themselves. We made sure that the facility was functioning. Most importantly, we made sure that it was safe. We know how often shacks burn. We know how often we have to respond to that. And one of the first things we made sure of was that it was secure in terms of that, in terms of the children being secure. We can't just feed, because if we just feed, we're a charity.
Yeah, I was about to say, because, you know, the name would insinuate that all you're doing is, and it's a lot of good, let's just not look down on that.
It's necessary.
It's a necessary need that you're feeding there, excuse that pun, is that you think that all you're doing is you're going in and you are giving them meals. Meanwhile, when you're talking here about sanitation, about safety, about health, there is a lot more that you're doing.
Absolutely. And I always like to tell people, think about hunger and malnutrition as two separate things. And the clearest way to look at it is this. If a child is hungry and I give the child a burger, the child will get full. Have I given the child something nutritious? No, I haven't. Absolutely not. And malnutrition is the biggest killer. Malnutrition has killed more people than HIV, AIDS, TB, and malaria combined worldwide. And a very little known statistic, but incredibly important to know. So for us, it's incredibly important that the foods we provide are nutritious. And we package them according to UNICEF standards. And it's very simple. It comprises of dehydrated ingredients because we want longevity.
Yes.
So the rice is just the bulk, okay? You need some starch as a bulk. We chose rice. But then it's got soya, which provides the protein. It's got a soup mix, which has dehydrated vegetables and lentils. And it's also got 23 essential minerals and vitamins. And this is specially sourced and provided to us worldwide by Kraft Heinz at no cost.
Okay, so I think somebody who's watching now, when you say that you packed 10 million meals and 3 million alone in South Africa, is that what you're packing in it, and then it goes to wherever it's getting distributed?
And then it goes to the early childhood development.
Then they cook it there?
Yes, they do cook it there. And remember, our meals have a shelf life of a year. So we're on a distribution every 6 weeks, making sure that the meals are going where they're supposed to be going, because we're accountable to our donors, but also making sure that these kids are being fed. And that's incredibly important.
So this is not a soup kitchen. This is like a high-end... Like
yes, darling.
production.
We do logistics, we do procurement, we do events management, we do distribution. You know, when I tell people, they're like, oh my God, and we're like, yes.
Yeah.
We're a development organization, we're not a charity.
So when you say then you've moved out of 40 ECDs, early childhood development, so you're no longer even sending them meals. They are now self-sufficient.
They don't need it. They're self-sufficient. They're running their little creches like businesses. So you can say we're also in SMMEs. Because that's what we're doing. And it's with great partnerships.
Sorry, not everyone knows what SME is. Small, medium enterprise, am I right?
Yes.
I am so smart sometimes. Okay, carry on.
All the time, Anele.
Stop.
But yeah, so that's what it's about. It's about empowering these creche owners. Remember, a lot of them haven't been educated. That's our legacy. We have to live with it. We have to deal with it.
We have to fix it.
We have to fix it. So we're fixing as we go.
So you fall under UNICEF. Is that...
No, we don't fall under them.
You work with UNICEF?
No, we don't work with them, but they have guidelines in terms of nutrition, which are excellent. And it's open and it's there. So why not, use them?
So who gives you your money? Who gives you your funding? Who keeps
Corporate South Africa. Corporate South Africa have been absolutely amazing. And they do it by being actively involved, because we're also very clever. We get corporates to do our work for us. They actually package these meals. And they love doing it because we make it fun. We play music. There's a vibe going. And we just instruct them. We give them their little dookies, which they put on, because, again, it's about safety and health. You want to be clean. You want it to be an atmosphere where you're really looking after the food, so there's no wastage. We're strict on that. You can have fun, but always remember that this is somebody's meal at the end of the day. And you know what? Our meals cost R2.90. It costs 100 Rand to feed a child for a month in this country. And I mean, I always tell my friends, when you go out for coffee, please feel guilty, because you spend more than 100 Rand with your friends.
You spend 20 Rand on parking.
Exactly.
Maybe that's what should happen, because I think parking is a ripoff. Maybe all the money we spend for parking, the government should make the malls take it and give you guys the money so you guys can feed.
Well, let's not take away people's employment as well.
Parking.
I know, but somebody's working there. That little meter maid needs
no,
the salary.
it's a machine. Listen, let me not start a revolution here on Nelson Mandela Day. That's not what I'm here to do. That's what So how often are you guys packing these meals?
We pack them regularly. It's not only on Mandela Day. We have to do this.
But this is what I want. Because somebody's sitting at home and they're like, you know what? I want to be part of it. I want to go help pack.
Okay, that's a great one, because there are people who don't have money, but they have the hands and the time.
Exactly.
So every second Saturday of the month, we accommodate you.
Where?
And we're at our warehouse, which is in City Deep, as well as in Cape Town at our warehouse there, which we've just moved. It's in Athlone. At our warehouse in Hemingway Mall, where we've just opened.
Is
East London.
Yes.
And then as well in Pietermaritzburg at our warehouse there, which is next to the Macro. So every second Saturday, you have to register though, because it gets choked. And I mean, that's great because it shows so many different people. And
It's a good problem to have.
It's a good thing to have, yes.
Okay.
And also, you know, people are working together. It's all different kinds, all different creeds. We have little ones. They put all the stickers on, the expiry dates on those, and they have fun doing it.
So no longer Stop Hunger SA, but now Rise Against Hunger
That's it.
Africa.
That's
Thank you
it.
so much, Sarah, for all the good work that you do. We're saying goodbye to Sarah. No longer Stop Hunger, now SA. It is Rise Against Hunger Africa, and we surely hope that we get to see her again, and we hope that you will go and register so that you can go and pack some meals. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Rami Chweni. It's Nelson Mandela Day once again, and we don't stop. We don't ever stop. Yes, 67 minutes of goodwill, 67 minutes of doing something great, 67 minutes of doing something that can change someone's world. You know what? You do not need to only do 67 minutes. Do it all the time, just like Madiba would. Let's do it for the country. Let's do it for our children. And don't you forget, love is the best gift and the most free gift you can give to anyone. Love somebody today.
Welcome back to Real Talk, and as we are celebrating and remembering the late great Nelson Mandela, who lived by these 3 rules: free yourself, free others, and serve every day. We're now joined by Alicia Swanepoel from the Johannesburg Dream Center, as well as Natalie Lazary from the Reach for a Dream, who are also doing their bit in being the change that they want to see. Natalie, I'm going to go with you first. Quickly, bragging rights, Reach for a Dream this weekend.
Absolutely, Lewis Hamilton.
Dude, I promise you, we were in our WhatsApp group because the lady I work with, Cindy Palucha, she was also instrumental in trying to figure it out. How are you guys going to meet Lewis? And then, so that kid wanted to meet Lewis Hamilton, right?
Yes.
And he is, he's suffering from something.
Yeah, so Klaas is 18 years old. He's fighting stage 4 cancer, Ewing sarcoma. And all he wanted to do was meet Lewis Hamilton.
And then Lewis Hamilton dedicated his win to him.
Absolutely. So it was the most incredible weekend. Thank you.
No, guys.
It's definitely one of the biggest dreams we've been able to achieve.
Yeah.
And it kind of just snowballed, you know. It was getting a meet and greet with Lewis Hamilton, and then all of a sudden he was at the Grand Prix.
And then the next thing he was there, and he was in Lewis's pit.
Absolutely.
I was just like,
paddocks. He's in the winning circle. It was exceptional.
All right. So then you come off that high, and you're going to Nelson Mandela Day. What are you guys doing?
So we celebrate Mandela Day every day.
Yeah.
We fulfill 4 to 6 dreams on a daily basis. So today we did the same thing.
Yeah.
So every single day, countrywide, we're fulfilling dreams. And today what we did a little bit differently this Mandela Day was we launched a new campaign. So we've actually launched a aircraft raffle. So we're giving away 2 aircrafts, 2 private planes.
As in a private
licenses.
jet?
Yes. So we have an aircraft that we are raffling.
Like, I get to keep it forever?
Absolutely.
What about the petrol?
So that's on your account. So what happens is this. You get to buy a 250 Rand raffle ticket, and you stand a chance to win one of our planes. So they're 2 brand new planes, and they come with a PPL license as well. And we are raffling to all of South Africa. That's what we are doing today.
Oh my word. You guys just made charity lit. Alicia, you guys are from the Dream Center Johannesburg, right? And you want to change the atmosphere. Now, I don't know how much you like the fact that they're giving away planes that are, but what's the vibe? What's changing the atmosphere?
So changing the atmosphere to us is basically just about going out and fulfilling needs. When you talk about dreams, sometimes people have got huge dreams, like we're talking about here, having a plane. I mean, I'd love to have a plane. But there are so many people out there whose dream is just to feed their daughter, to get food on the table, to see their children finish high school, not to have teenage pregnancies. We're really basically about fighting poverty, not just on immediate needs, but also through empowering people and inspiring the youth to escape poverty, because that's what's going to change the atmosphere of Joburg.
So what's the rollout plan for that? How do you go about doing that? When you walk out the door, where do you say you're going to do what?
Okay, so we work on the 3 different levels. We work on our immediate needs. So obviously you do need to feed the family. A mom needs to have food for her child. We work on redistributing furniture so that we have homes that have got beds for children to sit in. We're very much based on taking secondhand goods which we think are useless to ourselves and giving them to people who burst out into tears for getting something like that. Then we empower people. So we also work on CVs. So today we work very much on creating CVs with people in the community, giving them the power to go out there and
get a job, get sustainability,
yes,
get
to change
employment.
things. We've actually looking to start a free clothing store, which will be based on also giving people the right outfit for the job interview, having a pretend interview with them, a role play, giving them examples of things that they can do so that we've got the right people getting jobs, not just people job hunting and hopping from job to job, but also the people who are getting bursaries from the government, who go back to squatter camps and still have to get the right impression.
So how do you then pick the furniture up and the clothes up?
Well, up until now, it's very much based on volunteers. So we'll get a volunteer, someone who's got a heart for it, and we'll get them to use their bakkie. Clothing is donated and dropped off at drop-off points. You know, a lot of the things that we do is just very much case for case. Yeah. Whatever we have, you know, we have a huge lack of resources. I think most charities can attest to that. We have a lack of resources. And, you know, we just make use of whatever we can as best as we can.
Speaking of resources, Reach for a Dream, who funds you guys? How does the machine keep going?
So we run our annual campaigns, like the aircraft raffle, we have a slipper day, we have a cycle challenge, and then corporate South Africa as well. We rely heavily on donations.
What other work does Dream Center do?
So we're also involved in inspiration. So that's one of the programs I'm most proud of. We got a thing called Girl, You Can Do It, like girl, you can do it, and Men's Tribe. And we basically go into high schools, underprivileged high schools, and we go in for a day. We get a whole bunch of women and men, we have them separately, women and men who have overcome circumstances similar to these kids. So they're lawyers, they are actuarial scientists, they are engineers, and they come and speak to the girls and speak to the boys separately, and they just kind of inspire them and give them hope for the future.
So the program is equally aimed at girls and boys, because I feel like the boys are getting left behind here.
Yes, definitely.
We've got this major obsession as South Africans for girls, which we should, you know, because obviously in danger, but like the reason we're in danger is because we're leaving the boys behind. So there's it's equal, ne?
It is equal.
Okay.
We focus it very much on problems for each of them, so specific to it. So the girls have a fashion show, we get a model to come, they do modeling, we get designer clothes for them. The boys, we recently had it based on soccer, so obviously you have to have a draw card. And we actually had Sibusiso Zuma with us, which was amazing.
Oh, nicely done. Nats, what dream are you guys currently working on?
So tomorrow we've got a little girl that wants to be a doctor for the day.
Okay.
So she's going to shadow her doctor actually that's treating her. She's going to walk the wards and see what it takes to be a doctor. And then on Friday we've got a room makeover. You know, a lot of the children that we deal with, as Alicia was saying, they have different fights that they're also fighting. It's not just their illness. So a lot of the time a child will want their own bed or a beautiful room to go and sleep in. So that becomes part of their dream and we fulfill that.
I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn. Do you guys have a new campaign that you're launching? There's something that you guys are doing.
Yes, it's the aircraft raffle.
Is it the aircraft one? Oh, okay. You already mentioned that one.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
no,
all right. So where are
aircraft
people
raffle.
getting tickets if they want that?
It's on our website, aircraftraffle.co.za, and it's 250 Rand raffle ticket.
And that's how you guys are raising the money?
That's how we're looking to raise
You
the money.
guys just had a fundraiser this past weekend?
Yes, we had at Barnyard. We find that, you know, everyone wants to help out on Mandela Day and in Mandela Month, but there is a problem, you know, for us as charities. We don't just operate in July, we operate all year
Do you feel a
round.
spike when it's Nelson Mandela Day?
Yes.
And then for the rest of the year, you're begging people to come on board?
Definitely.
Oh, really?
Everyone wants to help Mandela Day. Everyone, we get millions of phone calls. Last year we had a form where we could only fill out 1,000 views of it for Mandela Day, and it went past 1,000, which is way more than any other kind of
It's like
information.
good, but also it's like
Yes.
not. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're actually working also on 670 items for change. So we have a wish list on our website, which we're asking people to go through. Some of the stuff are very easy. Most people have it. So it'll be things like your old work clothes that you've outgrown, the pair of heels that you bought, but you decided you don't like them because they're $19.99. You know, something like that. And all of those items we're collecting for July to keep us going for the rest of the year, because we have a need. And if we get to 670 items, 6,700 or 67,000.
67,000 or 670,000.
Please.
Or 6.7 million.
How about $1 billion?
Oh, jeepers. Alicia, thank you so much for your time. Dream Center Johannesburg, as well as Natalie from Reach for a Dream. Thank you so much, guys. You honestly do wonderful work. We'll be back after the break.
I'm Celeste Ntuli, and I'm wishing everybody a very lovely Mandela Day. Please give someone something, not only airtime, net that, just something. Work on it, and it's a beautiful thing that Mandela taught us as a country, that giving is a form of loving.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Nelson Mandela, for what you did for us. Today, we're going to joke ka magoa. We're going to joke ka divorce yao. O legend.
Excuse me. Mashabela's an idiot. Nelson Mandela once said that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And Shera Dival from Kensani's collection is doing just that. Welcome to the Shera Dival. It really sounds like the bad person in an Avengers movie.
Yes.
Oh,
It's new, I'm getting used to it still. It's like I've only had it for a month, so we're testing it out.
It's Shera Dival. Do you know what I'm saying? You follow, right?
Superhero, love it.
Right? Yeah, but you're not the superhero, you're the bad guy.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, because in your day life, you do good work, like Kensani's collection. So at night, you're more than welcome.
Yeah.
Tell us about Kensani's collection.
So Kensani's collection is a small growing charity. We do all of our work within Dipslut. We started with a mentorship program where we pair people one-on-one to mentor a teen. So we have the philosophy that if you help one teen, just one child, they'll be able to grow and nurture. If we nurture them, then they will be able to influence not only their families, but the community around them. So we do various activities to help people one-on-one, but we also do group activities.
Okay.
More recently, within the last year, we also started a math and science program. So we now have a teacher that teaches 6 days a week, keeping these kids off the streets, and the children are able to now come and learn about math and science and really just grow and get to fellowship with each other in that environment too.
So where are you finding the kids? Do you just walk into Dipslut and be like, yo, who'd like a mentor?
Well, there's over 1 million people in Dipslut,
Yes.
so you are never short of finding the children.
Okay.
We focus predominantly on the teenagers.
Do you go to the schools in Dipslut, or like I say, is it like a...
Well, the program started out of our church, and so that's where it originally started.
Okay.
And so we have premises on a church property. So once the word spread, those that are interested in maths come to the math classes. So I don't know what you were like, but my mother had to drag me to extra math class. And
It would have been a waste of money, my love.
Right.
Like,
So these children come out of their own volition. So that's what's always incredible. So they speak to each other. They're at different schools. They all come from a variety of different schools, different backgrounds, and yet they come. They encourage each other to come, and they really want to make something of their lives. So every now and again, we have to give them the pep talk about why they need to be there, but they come every day, and it's really wonderful for them to have that time together.
Okay, so we know how you're finding the children, how you're finding the mentors,
yeah.
Because then they're mentees.
Yes,
Yeah, okay,
correct.
cool.
So mentorship is something very specific. You really have to have it on your heart. It's not something that you can do unless you have a passion to change a life. And it's not a big, people often think mentorship, influence of a young life, it's this big task, and it's not that. It's a little conversation. So we encourage our mentors to meet with their mentees a minimum of once a month for a few hours and just listen to them, learn so that equally you leave with a different cultural understanding. So often we know the divides within our country between the privileged and those less privileged. And so often we find our mentors are walking away saying, sure, I actually learned a lot today. And the mentees can learn maths or science. They get taken to different places. My mentees, the first time I took them to Sandton, I was looking around going, you're right, that is a big building. I also hadn't noticed it. And when they got to see the statue of Nelson Mandela at Sandton City, it was incredible. We had to have every possible posed picture imaginable for the teens, and they absolutely loved it. And it's encouraged me as a mentor myself to be able to see the world differently and see the world through their eyes. So it's a really beautiful thing to be able to do. And it's so easy. People always think, but I'm not prepared. I can't take that responsibility.
So initially it's just like have a conversation with them, listen to them, and see what their challenges are, and then from then you kind of work towards something.
Yes, correct. So it's taking a child's hand and just walking on their journey, saying, how was school? How did that test go? Because when a child feels that they are cared about, when they are loved, suddenly they start to blossom. Suddenly, when they know someone cares that they didn't study for their test, then they have a little bit more interest in their own lives. So it's answering basic questions. It's, how do I open a bank account? How do I How do I get an email address? So all the questions are things we are very eager to help with, but equally they're questions that we can just Google when we don't know the answers. No one's going to know every answer. We also have different forums which we collaborate with each other, and we help each other to figure out different problems that arise.
And if I pick a mentee, is that the mentee I stay with until they matriculate, and then we work together to try to get them into varsity, maybe get them a bursary?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Come with that.
Yes. So we try and pair people up, so it would be male with male, female, female, because they open up better in that way. And the journey that you would walk with your teen will be very specific to you and your teen. Most people that have started will have their teen, and long after the child's finished school, they'll continue that relationship, because it is a genuine relationship. It's a friendship. It's not this adult, you're not a parent, you're a friend, and you're a friend that's got a little bit more knowledge and a little bit more experience, which you're able to share with each other as you go through that journey.
Okay.
So it is really, we cater for people that are busy. All of us are busy. All of us have full-time jobs. We're all really, really busy. And so we encourage people to just give a few hours to build a relationship. So if I'm walking to a meeting, I can quickly WhatsApp my team and say, how was that test? How are you doing today? Just like I would communicate with any of my other friends. Okay. It's not an extra addition and this extra burden on my life. And so I think a lot of the mentors have found it in some cases easier than they expected, but the realities of the conversations you're having are also very eye-opening to some of the things that are happening in these young teens'
Have you
lives.
ever experienced a breakdown in relationship between a mentor and mentee, and do you guys then step in and say, maybe we should allocate you to somebody else?
Absolutely. There have been several occasions. We often find mentees are not the problem. Sometimes we have found the mentors, they come in and they gung-ho, we're going to save the world, and then they get bored, and then that disappoints the teen. So we've actually have spent a lot less time more recently searching for mentors, but rather the mentors that have it on their heart to join.
To naturally find you.
Yeah, they find us and they go, I'm here.
Okay.
We want to do it. In fact, as I was driving down a month ago to my wedding, Andrew, our latest mentor, he phoned me, said, I'm in, what do I need to do? I said, great timing, I'm about to leave, and then I go on honeymoon. He's like, who can I meet with? And I've come back from honeymoon, he's got involved, he's taken on Bright, he was getting 5 distinctions in matric, but didn't know where to start. He didn't have an email address, he wants to be an actuary, but literally does not know
like
what
little
the next step
things
is.
like you need to apply now in varsity to be able to get in with your res, you know, with your student funding and all of that.
Correct.
Yeah,
So
I hear what you're saying.
Andrew's arranged an interview with various places for him, and he's started the conversation. And I saw Bright today at our Nelson Mandela Day event with the teens, and he is so excited. You can see that energy because somebody cares. And it's small things sometimes, but equally sometimes it's really taking
and
an
it's things that
interest.
you already know. Like, I know how to fill out a varsity form.
Correct. And
you
you
know,
can
you know
Google.
where to go, and you know that if you're going to Wits, you must go to the center here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I hear exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, the
So
problems are never that people don't know how to help their mentee.
Yeah.
The problem is always time. And so we've taken that into account in the approach that we encourage the mentors to take. We don't have hundreds of different meetings. We meet quarterly to advise and share with the mentors. And we have 2 main events within Dipslut a year so that people can meet all the different mentees as well.
So what did you guys do for Nelson Mandela Day?
We had a variety of different functions, so it's been a busy day.
Yeah.
We had, we support some creches in the area, 2 different creches. So we had a team that went with the Hard Rock Cafe, and Lisa took the team, she's one of our directors, she took the team to the creche, and they sang some songs, and Hard Rock Cafe brought them lunch, and they had a lovely time. And then we took another group, another company called ZACR, and we took them in Central Registry, me too. And they came in, and we had a couple of different people come in today to the math class, and we said, instead of coming in just to paint something, which is, we didn't need anything painted. We wanted them to talk about what they did. So that each of them got up within the company and spoke about, this is what I do in HR, this is what I do in finance, because these teens are trying to figure life out. They don't know what job to choose. A lot of them, their parents work all day, so they don't have that parent to advise them what they should study. And so it's been, they were able to spend their time and have real one-on-one conversations with our teens, because that's what we're trying to promote, education.
And where do people get hold of you, the mentors who are going to find you out of their own accord?
Oh, I'm so hopeful that they do. So we have a website, kensaniscollection.org.za, or we have a Facebook page.
Kensanis Collections. Thank you so much, and nice ring.
Oh, thank you.
I can just flash it, just like, hey. Listen, thank you so much. You do wonderful work.
Thank you.
After the break, I'll tell you about what we got up to today. When I say we, Real Talk as well as SABC3. Stay with us. What I love about Nelson Mandela is that he makes me proud to be black. He has broken that taboo, that sense that seems to reverberate all over the world, that we cannot, as a race, stand for anything, that we have no nobility. Mandela broke that, and God bless him for that. Every year on Mandela Day, we do not only celebrate what has been done, but we should also look within ourselves to find what we can still do. Today, we visited the Cancer TLC Nicas Lodge home in Pretoria, and this is what we got up to. 2009 was the first time we celebrated Nelson Mandela Day on the 18th of July, which marks his birthday. He gave 67 years of his life to fight for freedom for all South Africans. So what do? We give 67 minutes every Nelson Mandela Day. We're here for our 67 minutes at Nicas Lodge in Pretoria. This is a center that houses the children as well as the parents whilst the child is suffering and currently going through chemotherapy for cancer. Here they are given love, here they are given support, and most importantly, they are given information about the disease and how and what it's going to take to fight it. Let's go inside. So Vera van Dalen, I understand that this is your brainchild. This is your baby. Tell me about it and its conception.
It is accommodation for parents with children with cancer, because I had a child with cancer, and it was my deathbed promise to him that I will go back and do something.
Did you find that when you were in that moment where your son was, struggling and fighting cancer, that you didn't have anywhere to go where you could confide in other moms and, be in a safe haven where you can break down and cry if you want to?
I could cry. I had my family and my friends, but in general, many of the parents don't have knowledge about the disease. Some people come very far and they have to stay at hospital for long periods of time. Some people simply don't have the money to support the child the right way, and therefore we offer the support that they need in terms of food, toiletries, the accommodation, the information, the counseling, all what they need to know.
Information and counseling, actually very important. So
yes.
You said you guys paint nails.
Yeah, we also do the nail painting.
What's that for? To just calm them down because they're not...
We have sessions with the mothers, and when we sit there and we see that everybody is stressed, we have to do something just to have a relaxing moment and get everybody to calm down and to open up. So nail cutex is a nice way because you don't have to look at me, you don't have to look in my eyes. And it's very easy then to open up.
Oh, wow. How did you come up with it? Was it by pure fluke?
Over time, you do whatever it takes, and yeah, this is one of the things that we do.
Over time, you just find ways in which to make it better for people who
And every group is different, and every time we have to pick up something new.
Was it this big when you first started?
No, I started in Kalafong Hospital, which is a different space, and the unit moved here. There I built a small lodge with 20 beds. Now I've got a 50-bed space. It's open 24 hours. All through the year, we don't close.
So what's the vision? What's the dream? How do you want this to end up being?
The end is that we can reach each and every child, make sure that they're pain-free. I cannot cure the children, but I can see that while they are here, that the parents know how to fight, how to have the best knowledge, the best opportunities, and that we can relieve some of the trauma that they have.
I understand it's named after your son.
Yes.
What's it called?
Nicas Lodge. And what I never knew, and somebody then told me from ancient languages, that it actually meant caregiver of the poor.
No, man.
I didn't know
and
that.
You just called him that at the beginning because you're like, oh, he has a cool name, Nicas it is. All right.
Yeah, so the name was blessed from the beginning.
From the very beginning. Look, thank you so much for all the work that you do. It was an absolute honor for us to come and spend some time here. I've been hanging out with some of the kids that are here, and it really is a wonderful thing that you're doing. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. You are from the Cancer Association of South Africa. Am I right in saying that?
That's correct.
And what does your job entail?
Okay, well, I'm the official spokesperson. So my job is not as important as what these wonderful people do. They are out there interacting with the people that are affected by cancer. And the Cancer TLC program is specifically for families and children affected by cancer. So often when that child has got a cancer, we actually forget the impact that it has on the family, on the mom and the dad, or the aunt, and often about the little ones, the brother or the sister. So what Cancer TLC does is that we look after the whole family. We give them support. We provide prosthetics. You know, often cancer means that you lose an eye or you lose the limbs, an arm or a leg. So that's our job, is to find the prosthetics for the child. We do support.
And what about if a child does not have parents or family? Are you guys also acting as a guardian unit?
There's a guardian that comes along, or somebody from the family or somebody that we know, and then we help the child. So here is where we provide the accommodation. So the child is getting treatment, and often when the parents are nearby or the guardian, those kids actually recover quicker knowing there's someone nearby. And a lot of time the parents are coming from very far away. Yeah. They've got nowhere to stay, so this is where we put accommodation for them. And we're all over the country. We're in Port Elizabeth, in Joburg, Pretoria. We're also in Durban. So it's about providing a safe place where the parents are going to be nearby their children or the child that's been affected in the family.
And I understand that at times, sometimes the child's in hospital for 2 weeks and then they're going to take a 2-day, 3-day break, and it doesn't make sense for the family to go back home for those 3 days and then come back to see the doctor again. So this is where they're housed.
Absolutely. And you know, sometimes a lot of these parents can't get leave if they're working. Some of them also don't even have jobs. They really don't have anything, and they've this it's so devastating in a family if someone does get cancer, but especially when it's a child. So it's all about helping them through it. So we also do skills training, we do workshops, we teach them all sorts of things to get them back up on their feet, but to keep them going, and to give, the most important thing is to give that emotional and that spiritual support to help them cope as their child is going through the treatment.
And what's the time frame in which they can stay here at Nicas Lodge?
As long as it takes. Usually 6 to 8 weeks is the sort of general period, but it could be longer. Sometimes the child might be waiting for an operation or for a prosthetic limb. So whatever they need, whenever they need, this is the facility. It's here available for them.
This is what you guys do. Lucy Belona, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
And we all need to continue burning the flames of kindness that Tata Madiba started by taking it upon ourselves to make a difference whenever and however we can, so that we too can be the change we want to see, one act of kindness at a time. We'll be right back.
Hello, Robert Kiyosaki, and I want to, send my praises to Nelson Mandela. In my opinion, the greatest leader of our time today. And why do I love Nelson Mandela? Because I'm a rugby player. And when he united the world, with the game of rugby, I thought that was the best thing in the whole wide world. So go Bucks.
Nelson Mandela called on the younger generation to take up the task of serving, and that is exactly what 8-year-old Dario, with the help of his mom Zita, are doing. Welcome to Real Talk, Dario and Zita. He's gonna tell them what happened.
Okay.
So Dario, was smuggling a packet of chips in his blazer, and his mom wasn't supposed to know. As he sat down, all the mom heard was, she's like, Dario! Dario, you my guy. And you do good work. Tell me about the good work that you do.
Well, for Mandela Day, what we done, we went to a squatter camp and handed out 700 pairs of shoes.
700 pairs of shoes. Yeah. So did you collect the shoes?
Yes.
Why did you want to collect the shoes?
Because I just saw that kids on the side of the road couldn't live like this. I mean, like, their feet were all cut, and it was very sad.
Who did you tell when you saw this?
Well, I actually wrote a letter to all my friends, and then they told their friends, and their friends told their friends.
Okay, so Mom, he then comes home and he's like, Mom, I've got this idea.
Yeah.
What, do you think, Daria, you always have these great ideas that you never follow up on. You smuggle chips, you know, at night you switch the lights off and all I hear is khwam, khwam, khwam. You know, what is going on here?
Well, Daria started this initiative called Soul to Soul, and it literally started, as Daria says, Mom had a cadenza. And Mom had a cadenza because a pair of school shoes that were literally 2 or 3 months old were too small for Daria. And we were driving one day in Alberton, and he saw this little boy on the side of the road, and he said to me, you know, Mom, you know those shoes that you were so upset about? I know exactly where they're going. We're going to go home and we're going to go get them. And when we went home, between Daria and his little sister Liana, they managed to pull out how many pairs?
14 pairs.
14 pairs.
14
Yeah.
Between you and your sister that you weren't using.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was too small.
And that's when Soul to Soul was born.
That's how Soul to
Yes.
Soul was born.
And then it grows how?
Well, like Daria mentioned, Daria wrote a letter just appealing to his friends and family. He set a target of 1,000 shoes. He wanted to collect 1,000 shoes. And that letter literally went viral on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
And people started contacting us and started donating shoes. And it's been how
In
many?
5 months, we've collected over 10,000 pairs.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. So, clearly you've got a good heart, great, that's Mom's work. But when you hear names like, you know, Nelson Mandela, what goes through your mind? What's the first affiliation?
Charity.
Charity, right? And being good.
Yes.
And so, is it easy for you to convince your friends? Because I mean, it's easy for you to be like, hey, I want to do this. But
Yeah.
your friends also just want to smuggle chips into class.
Yeah, maybe.
So was it easy to convince them?
Not really.
Do you find that you guys are spending some of your own resource to do certain things? Because I mean, obviously you have to drive places, Mom, to go and drop off these shoes.
And Nelly, people have been so generous, and that's one thing that I can say is people have been so generous. You know, firstly, it started off at Doris School. Merritt's Brothers has been amazing. They put a bin in their library. And
To collect shoes. And we've collected so many shoes through that bin because that's where Soul to Soul started. So I wrote a letter to my friends.
Yeah.
And then some of my other friends picked up on it and they said, can we make a bin for you to put shoes in?
All right.
Plastic ideas.
All right, so now, are other schools in the area also like getting wind of this and starting to help you out?
Like there's a boy, Aaron Joshua Socks, he literally phoned my mom and said, you can't hand out shoes without socks.
Nice.
Yeah. And there's another one in New Zealand, also collects shoes.
Okay.
Adrienne, she actually immigrated to New Zealand. She's in the exact same school.
Okay, so now she's also collecting shoes.
And Ruby, she was collecting shoes and now she's collecting books.
Books. So now you guys have, listen, this is an empire. You're branching out. There's shoes, there's socks, and now there's books.
Yeah.
And then you send them out.
You know, what it is, it all comes down to, you know, I'm exceptionally proud of Daria with Soul to Soul. And I've seen this whole ripple, this domino effect of youngsters wanting to do good. And as Darius mentioned, a little boy contacted us and said, how can you hand out shoes without socks? And he's now gone on and collected over 10,000 pairs of socks. And that's been amazing. And, you know, it's like I say, I think the youth can do so much. And, you know, that's what we want to encourage. We want to encourage, you know, the youth to get involved. And it starts from this age. As I said, people have been exceptionally generous and we're exceptionally thankful. If it wasn't for everybody donating, we wouldn't have gotten to over 10,000 pairs of shoes.
So where are you storing these shoes? Because I mean, like, I'm pretty sure you have issues storing your own shoes in the house. Now you've got 10,000 pairs.
Number one spot is the garage.
Okay, so the garage is no longer for cars. It's now for shoes.
So one day Dad couldn't even fit his car in the garage.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. So you store it in there, and for how long before you take it and go distribute it?
It's quite a process for us because it's also mental. When we get shoes in, we also have our everyday life. Darius got school. Darius in grade 4. He's writing exams. He's exceptionally busy with sport. So for us, it's a mental thing because we know that we've got all these shoes
and you feel the pressure to have to get them out.
Yes,
because it's a sin sitting in your garage.
Exactly, they can't do anything in your garage.
So we sit, we take out the shoes, we pair them, we tie them with elastics, and then we sort through them in boys and girls and teens and toddlers. And it's about a turnaround time of about a week to a week and a half.
All right.
Where we go to different organizations and we hand them out. Just something that I want to add in there is, you know, Dario's got a motto. I don't know if he wants to go on with it.
What's your motto, Dario?
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Oh, nicely done.
And that's the end of it. You know, at the end of the day, we hoard. We hoarders. People are hoarders. I know how many pairs of shoes I own and how many pairs of denim pants I own. And a lot of the stuff we don't wear. It sits in our wardrobe, gathering dust. And Soul to Soul would like to challenge everybody out there to go through their wardrobes, go through their shoes. If you haven't worn it in a year, just think about the amount of people out there that you could be changing their lives by just passing on something that you no longer wear. It sits in your wardrobe.
But why keep it in your cupboard and let it store dust? Why not give it to somebody else?
All right, guys, thank you so much. Dario, I know your friends are watching and you promised them you're going to say hi. So look into that camera, you can say hi.
Hi.
Your Facebook page, is it called Soul to Soul?
We've got a Facebook page called Soul to Soul, S-O-L-E, numeric 2, S-O-L-E.
The guys, Zita, thank you so much for your time. And you keep eating the chips and you keep it up. All right, thank you to all of our guests today and all the best to you as you continue with your noble causes. By any standard, Tata Nelson Mandela lived a full and impactful life. And for us here in South Africa, he is and always will be one of the greatest men to have ever lived for generations to come. And he has inspired lots of generations to come. That's all we have time for today. So thank you so much for tuning in to Real Talk. Don't forget, tonight, the best of the best are back at 9 p.m. The Man Cave, returning to our screens. And here's a sneak peek of what you can expect.
We're celebrating the premiere of our 6th season by giving you 6 episodes of the very best of The Man Cave.
I enjoyed that.
And then, on the 22nd of August, we invite you to join us for the premiere of the new season.
I love being a bit flexible.
So, why not reload your season favorites and prepare yourself for what will surely be your favorite season.
Catch up with Yanez, Waris and Siv on Man Cave and the rest of the bunch. On that note, from me and the rest of the crew here at Real Talk, good night.